Hello again, I'm Peter Van Dusen, and you have been listening to political leaders speaking about the story rocking Parliament Hill today, the suspension of Liberal MPs Massimo Pichetti and Scott Andrews after two female NDP MPs accused them of personal misconduct. The allegations are disturbing, although the details are pretty slim still, but the case is raising serious questions about how Parliament deals with these kinds of situations. That is, MPs accusing other MPs of serious impropriety. Let's follow up with three members of Parliament now. We're joined by Conservative MP Stella Ambler, who sits on the House Committee on the Status of Women, I believe. Mylène Freeman is the chair of the NDP Women's Caucus, and Judy Foote is the whip for the Liberal Party. She was asked by the Liberal leader, as we heard earlier, to speak with two NDP MPs who claimed they were the victims of the alleged misconduct by the two Liberal MPs, and she has passed the investigation along to the Speaker of the Commons. Judy Foote, let's start there, if I can, with you. It is being, first of all, thank you all for joining me to talk about this tonight, but Judy Foote, it's being widely reported that these are allegations of sexual harassment. If that's what it is, why not say so? What is personal misconduct?
If we want women or men to come forward and tell their story, they have to feel comfortable being able to do so. What we have is here cases of personal misconduct. If the victims choose to tell you the details of what happened, then that's entirely up to them. But we have to make the workplace such that people feel comfortable coming forward and looking for help in a situation like this. And having me tell you what the details were would be so unfair to them and to others who may see this as an opportunity to tell their story. Okay,
let's stick with details for a second. Massimo Pichetti, one of the MPs suspended, he's issued a statement saying, quote, I was not provided with the specific details of the allegations that led to this suspension. Is that the case? Do the two men being accused know exactly what they're being accused of?
They have not been given all of the detail that I was able to glean when I spoke with the MPs in question who were making the allegations. They do know that serious allegations were made. The leader then, of course, had no choice but to suspend the two MPs from caucus, and he did that. This is something he takes very seriously, as do all of us in the Liberal Party, and we need to move on this, and that's exactly what we have done.
Okay, so what were the two individuals, Mr. Pichetti and Mr. Andrews, what were they told about these very serious allegations against them before they were told they're being kicked out of caucus?
They were told that there were serious allegations of a personal misconduct nature, that because of that, and because we do take these allegations very seriously, they were told that they would be suspended from caucus while the investigation was going on.
Okay, so they, just to be clear, and I'll move on, they were not told who was accusing them, and they were not told the nature of the serious allegations, but were they then told that they would be moved on to the Speaker's office for further action then?
They know that there is no process right now that exists in the House of Commons. We know that there needs to be one. This is 2014. We should have had a process in place. There isn't one. We need to move on that. All four individuals here need an opportunity to be heard. That is not something that can be done between whips. We need an independent process here. That's why we've written to the Speaker and asked him to move expeditiously to put something in place that can deal with these particular incidents as well as any that should come forward, heaven forbid, in the future.
Okay, Mylène Freeman, let me move to you if I can. What did the NDP caucus know about these allegations before today?
I'm deeply saddened and troubled by hearing this news today coming from the Liberal caucus. We really need to make sure that we have formal mechanisms. I agree. This is not a conversation that needs to be happening in a public sphere. This needs to be kept private for respect of those who are involved. And I would like to point out that at no time have we confirmed who these people are, that there are NDP MPs or not. And I would really like to underscore that it is important to respect that these people have not come forward, are not talking about it publicly. And this speaks to, I think, also a general public social problem that we have, where a lot of people feel they cannot come forward because formal mechanisms are not in place to support them through the process. This is an issue for women across Canada.
Okay.
All Canadian women and men should be able to go to work and free of harassment. That's the conversation that we need to be having.
Sure, and you've mentioned that it shouldn't take place publicly. I guess that leads me to ask, did you have any idea the Liberals were going to do what they did today, issue a public statement and suspend 2 MPs?
We're welcoming what Speaker Scheer is saying will be an investigation. I'm hoping that this will be done.
No, but did you know the Liberals were going to? The Liberals have made it public. Are you suggesting the New Democrats were looking to handle this behind the scenes and not have it blow up as it's blown up today?
I think the individuals who have been affected, the victims in this case, did not publicly come forward themselves, and that there needs to be respect for those victims, and that we cannot forget that these are people who do not wish to be identified, and as a result, that putting it in a public political sphere is actually putting them in a situation that is very upsetting. Unfortunately, we do need clear processes where we can make these complaints formally, so that we're not in a situation that we are in today.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, you're suggesting you'd rather the Liberals had not done publicly what they did today. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Judy Foote, did you tell the New Democrats you were going to be making this public today?
Well, the minute that an MP approached the leader of the Liberal Party, he had no choice but to act on that. The fact that he had this knowledge, there was no choice. He had to move on it. And in doing so, of course, I was charged with the responsibility to speak to the individuals concerned. At no time did we identify who these individuals are. Again, we need to respect the privacy of these women and all MPs who may find themselves in a similar situation, or employees for that matter. This is not something that we take lightly, but we take allegations of this nature, of a personal misconduct by one MP toward another, as serious, and we've acted, and it was important to do so. We decided to go to the Speaker because there is no process in place. We've impressed on the Speaker how important it is that one be put in place expeditiously. We need to get this one dealt with, and hopefully there won't be others.
Stella Ambler, I appreciate your patience. Let me bring you in on this. What's your reaction to what we've seen here today?
Well, it's certainly, this is very serious. We take it seriously. I personally take it seriously as a member of the Status of Women Committee. In fact, our committee held, it's an all-party committee, and we conducted a study about a year ago on sexual harassment in the workplace. And so we heard evidence about how serious this can be and how damaging it is to victims. I'm with Mylène. It's sad to know that it happens here on Parliament Hill. While it hasn't been my experience, and it saddens me to know that people may be going through this, but I very much agree with both of my colleagues that there needs to be a process, and whatever that process is, that it should be fair to all the parties, and that we've got to. It's very important to make sure that if this turns out to be the case, that there's a price to pay. Because this just can't happen. Okay,
Mylène Freeman, if you wish the Liberals hadn't made this public today, how should it have all been handled?
The individuals in question, obviously, that we don't want to talk about who it might be, speculate who it might be, but certainly it's up to them to be able to bring forward allegations as they wish. But right now what's missing is, in fact, the formal structure in order to do that. So we are waiting to see what Speaker Scheer is going to say, what the result of that's going to be, of him looking at this is going to be. And certainly as Women's Caucus Chair, this is something that has been raised within the NDP for a long time. You know, we've got our staffers are unionized, but they are basically the only employees on Parliament Hill who have recourse when there are incidents. No other employees here do. The MPs certainly don't. So this is something that we have been having an internal dialogue about, that we will continue to have, and make sure that we make those changes for all people who work on Parliament Hill.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people watching may ask, and it's hard to know in the absence of the seriousness of the allegations, and we believe they're serious, but we don't know the details of them. But I guess if they're serious allegations, why go to the Liberal Party leader? Why not call the police?
Certainly, the individuals who are in question have had to make decisions, have had to cope with what has happened, and those are their individual choices that we must respect.
And so to all of you, to finish on this, Milena has raised it, I think you've all touched on it. What needs to happen by way of a process then in most workplaces across the country when there are cases, and again, it's been widely reported that these are cases that involve allegations of sexual harassment. There are mechanisms in place to deal with that, and now we're finding out that there doesn't seem to be a clear process for dealing with that on Parliament Hill. What does that say?
I think it says that we still do really need to have a conversation about how we deal with harassment and sexual harassment in this country, that it needs to be something that's taken seriously, that's not put into the political realm, and that isn't attacking victims. That's really a formal way of making sure that all Canadians can go to work feeling safe every day.
Stella Ambler, what's your view on that? And then I'll finish with Judy Foote.
Sure. Yeah, this is a serious issue, and I think everyone's taking it very seriously. I know that the Speaker has already said that he is seized with the issue and that he takes it very seriously, and whoever is, I'm not sure who will be the person or the body investigating, but I know that the Speaker has said he will offer his full cooperation, because this is something that we all take very seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
One option is the Board of Internal Economy, Judy Foote, but we know when this has come up in the Senate, they've hired outside investigators to deal with this. Is that what needs to happen here?
Well, I'll leave that to the Speaker. He's certainly been, as Stella has said, seized with this. I'm sure he will move very quickly on it. This is 2014. It's important that we have a process in place. The fact that there isn't one is a shame. And we have so many employees on the Hill and in the precinct, Parliament Hill, that we really need to have that process, and we need to have it quickly.
All right. A story we'll continue to follow. I appreciate all of you taking time to speak with me about this tonight. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.